What is anti-Semitism?
Anti-Semitism at its simplest form is the hatred of Jews. It's taken different forms over the centuries. Originally, it was the hatred of Jews because of their religion, because it was different to the majority religion, whether it was in Christian Europe or in the Islamic Middle East and Southern Europe. Then it took a different form when theories about race started to develop and Jews were hated for their race. And ultimately, that hatred of race led to the Holocaust. Today, the modern manifestations of anti-Semitism is the hatred of Jews because of their nation state, the State of Israel, the only Jewish state among hundreds of Christian, Muslim and secular states. But Israel's the only Jewish state, and it's the only state that seems to have a degree of hatred about its very existence, where there are large parts of the world that don't believe that Israel should exist at all.
Alexander Downer, who I served with, made that point. He said, there are 70 or 80 countries that origins might be broadly said to be Christian, 40 or 50, I think, were the numbers, Muslim. There's just one Jewish state, and guess which one it is that lots of countries seem to have decided shouldn't even exist. It does put it into some relief.
It does, absolutely. Jews have always been a significant minority wherever they have lived. And the way in which particular countries have treated its Jews and the way now that the world treats the State of Israel reflects very much on the basic freedoms that exist in the countries and the basic view of the world more broadly in relation to the way it treats Israel today.
So anti-Semitism isn't simply racism, is it?
No, it's a very different sort of racism. I think that's a good thing to point out. It's different to being, against black people, for instance, because if you're against black people, you may just be against them because they are different. What particularly denotes anti-Semitism is a view that relates to conspiracy, and it's usually a conspiracy to explain whatever ill is besetting a country at a particular time. So it's usually, whereas most racism is about punching down on a group of people that you don't like, anti-Semitism is punching up because of a conspiracy of Jews organising themselves to do things that they're not engaged in doing. So whether that's conspiracies about Jews controlling money supplies or Jews poisoning wells back in the Middle Ages, or Jews exercising undue influence over political or financial systems, there's always a conspiracy element to explain situations that are befalling a country at a particular time. Why they're economic times that are hard? It's because the Jews control the banks, so the anti-Semites say. Why is it that Hollywood is the way it is and it produces a certain sort of film? Because the Jews control Hollywood. Whether these things are true or not, it doesn't matter. People are propagating particular views as a way to explain their own difficulties, and there's always a conspiracy in relation to Judaism. And it's a conspiracy that is almost never exists in any way, shape or form. The most famous of the anti-Semitic conspiracies is a book called The Protocols of the Elders of Zion. It was a book of the idea that there were Jews sitting around trying to work out how to control the world. This turned out to be a Tsarist forgery, part of the Tsarist secret police, and they put it out in order to foment anti-Semitism. The sadness today about that publication, long after it has been discredited, is that it is available for sale all around the world, and it's particularly been translated into languages in predominantly Muslim countries to foment ongoing anti-Semitism in some of those countries.
Can I pick you up on something here? You made the observation that implied that anti-Semitism is a modern age thing. Isn't it the most ancient of all hatreds, though? Doesn't it really sort of go back thousands of years?
It absolutely does. It's very ancient, and it just transmogrifies over time. The roots of anti-Semitism in the West were very much based on the view in some of the churches that the Jews were responsible for the death of Jesus Christ, and as a result, Jews were blamed for that and were set apart from the rest of Christian Europe and the rest of other Christian countries. And that allowed, from time to time, church and state-sanctioned violence committed against Jews as a result of that, including, events throughout history like the Spanish Inquisition, which ultimately put Jews in the position that they were to be expelled from the Iberian Peninsula, or they had to convert to Christianity.